Welcome to Flip Lesson 64 for the 5th grade. Today we're going to start our look at decimals, and to do that we're going to first kind of play with decimals where you're slightly familiar, and we're going to look at money. By looking at money we can really start to understand the idea of a whole compared to a decimal, which is a part of the whole. So I can start here. I can start with my $1 bill. I can say, okay, that's 1. And normally, place values, right, that fits into the ones place value. Just like if I have a $10 bill, right, now I have a total of $11 on the screen, right? And place value-wise, I could say, yes, I have $11. 2 place values. Here's the ones, here's the tens. And if I pull down a $100 bill, right, once again, the money makes sense. Now I have $111. And you can see the place values lining up with the money. Now, when it comes to money, we're used to seeing this sign, right? When we're dealing with whole dollars or parts of dollar, we have the decimal point there. And now we can start looking at the coins that really make up our last 2 place values that we use in money. We have the dime, which would be 10 cents, right? And normally we would write that like this, right? But the 1 fits into what we call the tenths. Tenths, because it takes 10 dimes to equal $1. So 1 tenth. Just like if I erase that real quick and I throw a penny down here now. Right, I have 1 penny here, and that's the hundredths. I'm running out of room on my screen. Hundredths. Because it takes 100 pennies to equal $1. So we have this idea. And if I were to have 2 $10 bills, I would change this to 2. Just like if I were to have 3 dimes, that would change this to 3. And my 10th place value would change. Let's see if we can use this concept to help us understand money a little bit more. It says, what combination of dollars, dimes, and pennies makes $3.45 using the fewest bills and coins? Right? So, I need $3, so I'm going to say, okay, I got 1, 2, $3. Next, I need the 4, the tenths column, right? So that's our dimes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So got $3. And now I need the hundredths column, which is where the 5 is. That's going to be pennies. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it'll be $3 bills, 4 dimes, 5 pennies. And so that would be the answer to a problem like that. From here we can move on and we can just talk about the place values themselves, right? What place value is the 2 in $66.32, right? If I enlarge this, right, our 3 this is our tenths, so our 2 is in our hundredths. And so we would write hundredths. Okay, 2 is in the hundredths. Another thing we can do is we can think about comparing them and estimating with the money, right? Is $5.64 closer to $5.60 or $5.70? And so here, I have this number right here, and I want to round to the nearest tenths. So I'm going to look back. Let's see if 4 tells me to round down. And so in the end, $5.60 is closer. And so we have that. We can take this rounding principle and we can now put it together with a larger problem. It says, on her way home from the game, Ronnie stopped at the store and purchased a Gatorade, for $1.32, a Snickers bar for 89 cents, and some laundry detergent for $8.48. So what is a reasonable estimate for her purchase? So I'm going to take this number. I'm going to start by rounding that. I'm thinking, okay, let's round to the nearest dollar in this case. And so this is going to round to $1, right? So as I look at this, right, I want to round to the nearest dollar. I look back, that's a 3. 3 tells me to go down, right? And so it's going to stay as $1. Next, I go here. Look at this idea. Right, I want to round to the nearest dollar. If I look back, that's an 8. 8 tells me to round up. So that's going to be a whole dollar there. And then finally, I look here and I see $8.48. Now, if I'm rounding to the nearest dollar, I'm going to look here and look back and say, okay, that's a 4. That tells me to round down. That would be $8. So adding my estimate together, right, that would give me $10. And that is a reasonable estimate. That's a reasonable estimate. Some might argue, well, this 48 is really closer to 50 cents. So $8.50, maybe that would be a better estimate to round this part just up, look back this way, and make this $8.50. Because that can be easily added to our 1 here and our 1 here for $10.50. And you might say that is a better estimate. So that's our initial look at using money for decimals. So here's some sample problems to have you work with some of these concepts, and that is